okay. Now do I have microphone?
Oh, okay.
Alrighty, here we go. Starfield FSR3 beta tested. Here we go. We are doing as hardest settings as possible. I'm gonna crank them. I guess we are on ultra. Render resolution scale. Let's do 100% for sure. You should see no logo in the box. Okay, 2.41. HDR. I'm gonna crank it. Whoops. I like HDR dark. So we're on ultra settings. Everything's maxed out, and here we are, FSR3. Sets the resolution upscaling method between FSR2, CAS, and AMD FSR3. NVIDIA DLS. When off, the game will always run at full resolution. And render resolution scale. Oh, that's how it is. You turn it on here. So we have off, and that's 100% render resolution. Then we turn on FSR or CAS. FSR3 at 100% native resolution. Okay, so right now we are playing 4K native with FSR3 enabled, with frame gen on. Just turned it on. Whoops. Alrighty. Here we go.
Grab some samples?
Always. But not you. Check on Isabel.
So we are at native
Make sure she keeps us up on
resolution,
the breach.
4K.
Don't feel like getting buried alive.
We're using 96% of the
Roger that.
GPU, which I
Remember,
expected.
keep your breathing
And we're at
Never
120
take that
FPS,
down here.
native 4K, baby.
Don't extend this far.
I have been waiting so
Yeah.
long for this.
God forbid we drill on a rock with a breathable atmosphere.
Having issues with the controller not turning. Give me 1 second.
Our collective space.
Turning it off and turning it back on sometimes fixes it. There we go. Alright. The controller just died again. What in the world? Give me 1 second. There we go. Alrighty. So we are in 4K native resolution. FSR3 is on. 82 degrees Celsius hotspot, 69 temperature. And we're using roughly 90% the GPU. Up to 97 peak so far. But I'm wondering how the upscaling quality has increased. I mean, it's not supposed to be upscaling at 4K, but like you notice on certain textures here. Oh crap, I don't think I have my stream at the proper 4K. Alright, one more time, I'm gonna stop this and turn on the other stream with the higher resolution. Alrighty, now the stream should be 4K, 18 megabit stream, and we have FSR3 running, Starfield beta. You have to go into Steam, right click on the game in your library and click betas and then opt in to beta. And then you will also have FSR3, which is pretty much available on all graphics cards, NVIDIA and AMD alike. But so far I'm not having any issues. Little bit of frame pacing. But I think that the textures are sharper. But there is some shimmering. And I think that's Starfield in and of itself. Because we are running at native 4K. And just to verify that, let me turn off the FSR3 completely. Okay, so upscaling's off. We're at 100% resolution. And so this is pure native 4K. 73 frames per second. But with fine details. Wow, this is trippy. If you have doubts about getting a large TV or a monitor, do it. The bigger the better when it comes to the TV. Wow. Never experienced anything like this before. 55-inch TCL for $500 Best Buy. Q7. But yeah, we're getting roughly 70 in here. Now out in the world I think it'll be higher. But without frame generation, the lowest we hit was 72 here. 71 at the very lowest. 99% GPU utilization. So let's look at a complex scene. So right there we would get 72 frames per second. Let's go in and do... I'm wondering if upscaling was improved on FSR3. That is a big thing for me. I love frame generation, but I'm hoping they improve upscaling. So let's do FSR3, frame generation off, just for now. And let's do render resolution at 75%, which would be ultra quality. 75% is ultra quality, and then 67% is quality. Balanced, I think, is 58, and performance mode would be 50. So if you ever wonder what to put here, 50 is performance mode, 58 is balanced, 67 or something like that. I might be off by 1 or 2, but I'm pretty sure it's 67 is quality, and then ultra performance upscaling mode on FSR would be 75. So let's go with that, and I want to see, like, if you look at fine details, like those yellow doors, you can see a little bit of shimmering and stuff. So I don't know if that's the game. I think people were saying they were having issues. And now we're up to 100 frames per second. But as far as fine fencing, it's pretty good. Now I want to do performance. I really want to know if they improved upscaling at all. So let's say, you know, you're on a lower graphics card, you're trying to run 4K, and you're like, just give me performance mode. I can definitely tell performance mode is on. But does it look better than 1080 native? I say yes. But just on a few things they're shimmering, but this looks really good. So here's the difference. You can put on quality FSR and get, you know, 100 FPS. You can put on performance mode and get 120. Or you can leave it native 4K now. With FSR3 frame generation, I think this is the best thing for every single game. Leave it native 4K, 100% 4K native resolution, and then just kick on frame generation. And then you should have 120 FPS, 98% utilization, native 4K. And this is what all this stuff looks like at native. So it doesn't look like it's able to hit 120 consistently, unless I cranked it up a little too much, messed with the settings, and now I might need to restart. because of messing with settings. But you know what? Like hardware and box set, ultra settings are dumb. Put everything to high, bro. We don't need ultra. I'd rather have 120 FPS the entire game, nice and smooth. There we go. Now we have 10% headroom on the GPU, native at 120 FPS. And for some reason frame gen lag does not work with FSR3, but it does with fluid motion frames. Now the kicker is you could also turn on fluid motion frames right now too. So if your game gets 40 FPS, and then that gives you 80 with frame gen, well then you could turn on fluid motion frames and bring that up to 160, but it doesn't look good. But AMD is doing things right, whatever they are doing with FSR3, frame pacing, everything, this is incredible. 4K, 120 FPS, native resolution, no upscaling. This is what I was waiting for. I didn't want to play the game until this happened, so I'm going to turn out the microphone and explore a little bit. I hope you enjoy.
Benning, if you got paid per break, you'd be a millionaire. Let's go. What do we say, Dusty? You make your cut, you get your cut. No exception. Come on, pick it up. Troy, what's the yield?
Minimal at this point. Occasional glimmer, but it's weak.
What do you think? Stay the course?
No, ma'am. Juice ain't worth the squeeze.
Well, okay then. Let's call this one tapped. Why don't you move over to that big vein we looked at?
Yes, ma'am.
Dusty, you're up. Grab a cutter and mine what you can. Metal deposits are in that cavern. I'll shout out when I need you.
What's wrong with you? Hey, watch it! Careful! Careful! Hey, what's wrong with you? I'm busy. Careful! What's wrong with you? You got a few more digs to go before I feel like talking to you. Hey, watch it! What's wrong with you? Hey, what? Careful! Trying to get through my shift.
Everyone gets so hard on Starfield, but just looking at this wall behind this guy, the colors, the textures, they look really, really good. I'm thoroughly impressed. I will say this, I think I need to change the field of view for what I'm looking at. The further your display or monitor is from your face, the lower the field of view. If you are, have your TV or monitor right up close to you, or you even put it closer than it was, you can turn up your field of view quite a bit. So I am going to look for that right now. I forget where it was. I think it's accessibility. First person field of view. I'm gonna crank it to 110. Because I just put my TV so much closer. Wow. Yeah. And what you want to do is get your field of view so that it looks natural. Also, if you're having problems with your field of view and you just can't get it there, let's say you put it to 110. What you can do is do this. Spin around a circle. Do you have fisheye lens? Does it have like fisheye? The sides are all fish-eyed out. Well, then you need to lower it a little bit. It shouldn't have fisheye, maybe a little bit. But man, now I am fully immersed. This almost feels like VR. Because I put the TV close and crank the field of view up. And it looks good in my perspective. And my favorite thing is they don't change your gun. The gun stays the same. It's everything but the gun. This is incredible. I'm gonna get motion sick. That's awesome. I love it. I love getting that 3D effect. If you get motion sickness, that means your brain is thinking the image is real and 3D. So it's giving that spinning. If it doesn't actually look 3D to your eyes and your brain, then you won't get motion sickness. See, that perspective's a little bit too much. I'm going to put it down to 110. Or 100. So we were at 90, I'm going to 100. That little boost. Yeah, now this feels perfect perspective. 90 was a little bit too close. Zoomed in. Also, listening to this engine, Dolby Atmos for headphones is incredible. It is worth every penny for $15. Look up Windows Store Dolby Access app and do the 7-day free trial of Dolby Atmos for headphones. And then within the Dolby Atmos app, you can adjust the settings, equalizer, everything. It blows away Razer's standard software. And the sound position's amazing.
I think. Yeah, everything is just... Lynn, seriously, there's something really effed up about this.
Where is it, Hella?
Through there, I think.
Okay, you.
I've never been down here. I forget how to do the flashlight. I guess there's nothing. But I just never been down here. I started the game quite a few times. I wish A was jump instead of Y. I don't like why they put Y there. A is always jump in every game. Even look at the shadows though. This looks incredible. And I've maintained, I think, 120 pretty much this entire time. Maybe a tiny little dip. Hold left, that's what it was. That's so cool. Oh, I think they fixed the flashlights. I think the flashlight's a lot better.
Still getting weird gravity readings. I guess that's a good thing. Just keep going.
Yeah, this is incredible.
Come on, come on. Okay, take it easy. You were out cold. No physical damage. Mentally, the jury's still out. You know who you are? New recruit for Argos Extractors? Ring any bells? Any of this look familiar?
You were a good find when we hired you. Former military always knows how to get the job done. Well, you got the sample. Client's on his way, then we all get paid. You remember anything that happened? Huh. Well, you passed out, that's for sure. Everything else, probably just your brain playing tricks. Either way, we got what we were looking for.
All this trouble for that stupid thing? Huh. Sure don't look like much.
Never mind what it looks like. It's worth more than this mine has pulled in all month. We'll be... Speak of the devil.
Well, with high settings, FSR3 frame generation on, and native 4K,
Our constellation contact is on the
just
approach.
this room,
Wait, the Explorers group?
we're getting 105 frames per
Sounds like kind
second.
of a joke.
Not a joke.
But I will say
You're just
this,
too
I
young
played
to know that.
Avatar, and
Hey, I'm just
textures
saying
are
they
really
got
good in
reputation.
Avatar,
Hell,
and they're
half the
really
crew
good
here
in this
doesn't even
game.
believe they really exist.
Half the crew doesn't believe Earth exists, but it's still there. Same with Constellation.
Yeah, come on. Does that
Oh, can I take that guy's
Space we've already got
sandwich?
complicated enough.
Whoa. You
Not to them,
don't look good.
The controls on this are a little bit different. Either you go a little or you go a lot. Like, yeah, I'm gonna take this guy's sandwich. I want to eat
Alright.
it.
Need some coffee or something? Got a packet around here somewhere.
Hey, that was my sandwich.
Mmm.
And
What in the world?
what? Ah, I'm working. Not interested. Whatever. You got some. Hey. Busy. I'm busy. Got anyone else to bother?
How do I hold these things? Yeah. I think for the reason why FrameGen FSR3 is taking so long is I think they have to work out the kinks. They're getting used to it. But they said you need 60 or higher frames per second. So clearly right now, 107 we're at. What would it be without? So if you want to know how to set up FSR, first turn it off. Alright, go back, confirm. FSR is off. We're getting 72 frames per second. That should be a high enough base frame rate.
How'd they sucker you to join? Fall for the fancy pamphlets?
Yes. But here you can see we're at 78, so this should not... I would think that... Oh, there we're down to 65. But the lowest we went is 65. Especially looking into there. Oh, it's these things. This plastic. That always lowers it. But they were at 72. 75. We should easily get 120. So... Frame generation's on, FSR3. Render resolution scale. Oh! When did that get turned down? When do these all get turned up? Oh my word. I want it on high. Everything's high. Frame generation's on. No. Off. Render resolution scale is 100%. Go back out of here. Yeah. See, if we're at native 4K, we're barely at 60. We're at 61, 62. So if we're at 62 frames per second, and we all have a high settings, native 100% 4K resolution, frame gen on, what happens? 112. So from 62 up to 112. Hey Siri, 112 divided by 62. That is an 80% improvement in frames. So by turning frame generation on, you're getting 80% improvement. And to be honest, it feels really good. I do notice just a little bit of stutter. But we aren't hitting 120 FPS. I think that's important. So I am going to put on... I like this scale because you can just do by 10%. You don't got to go 75 or... The biggest problem with the original FSR2 is you could go to quality mode. So basically you're at native 4K, you turn on quality mode, and it takes you all the way down to 67%. So if you just need a little bit of frames, that's a huge leap. You know, I wish they would have included ultra quality, which would be 75%. But with the scale here, I could put it 79, 86, 90. I do like that. I hope that's in more games. You can dial it in exactly what you want. And now we are at 120 FPS, 96% utilization on the GPU. Now I can turn on, I can boost the power limit on my 7900 XTX real quick here. And where is that? Performance. Tuning, there we go. Alright, now I boosted it, so we should, instead of running at 360 watts, we're at 415 maximum. But yeah, that should give us 120. Let me make sure I put VSync on. I think it is. Yeah, VSync's on. Everything's set up, I believe. I don't like it so... Well, I'll leave it default. I like messing with settings. I check them and recheck them for hours. Here we go. 4K.
Lynn sure seems to like
90% upscaling.
Guess you would know, being the boss and all.
All right, Dusty. Airlock. Put your helmet on.
Where's inventory? There it is. Whoops. What am I doing? Did I drop the helmet? Yeah, I did. Oh no, I'm gonna die. Close the airlock. Oh, hold E to equip. Man, she's trying to poison me. I dropped my helmet. She's like, oh, sucks to be you. My GPU's running pretty cool too. 90 degrees for the hotspot. Normally it's up in the 100. It's bad if it's 110. Also, this 75 degrees Celsius. Oh, I guess that's normal. You don't want it over 77. The way the developers intended the game to be played, I believe, is at 75% upscale. So let's say FSR3 was FSR2, meaning you don't have frame gen. So this is how the game was before the beta. You know, you could do your resolution scale, this said FSR2, and this was set at 75. If that's what you were playing on with FSR2, right now you get 81 frames a second. And that's not bad. It's pretty smooth. And I'm debating on anti-lag, if I like it or not. But I haven't done much testing with it. I'm gonna move the TV back just a little bit. There we go. Part of it was being cut off by the computer. Yeah, it's a little too close. You shouldn't watch TV this close. A 55 inch from, I don't know, 30, 40 inches away. But basically, FSR2, 75% ultra quality upscaling. I think the way the developers intended it, because by default it turns on, just like Cyberpunk. By default it turns on quality FSR for ultra settings, and even high. So the game developers basically intended these games to be played with FSR or DLSS. Like, the way they built the maps and incorporated all the elements that utilize the GPU. You know, it was not designed to be played native. I mean, you could, but here, looking in that direction, we are at 90, 91, here we go, 87 frames per second. So if we turn off FSR, basically 100% resolution, this is what it looks like. And if you notice in the distance, that direction right there, you can probably see a little bit of shimmering on the poles. Now let me see if I turn this off. No upscale at all. Does it still shimmer a little bit? No, it does not. See, now that's the one big thing. We're at 73, 74. And it does look sharper at pure 4K. But I do see a little bit of shimmering on that right there. So, what were we at? 74, 75. So if I just turn on FSR3 and leave the render resolution at 100%, so it should be 4K, I can tell it does change the image a little. Like I do see a little bit of shimmering. Whereas if I turn it off, it would be completely off. Now notice, by turning FSR3 on, we went from 74 frames per second down to 67. All we did was turn on FSR3 and leave it at 100% render resolution. So if you would like to play the game at 60 FPS, native 4K, I would recommend turning this off completely. And if you want native 4K, that will make it pure native 4K. No FSR, no upscaling. And they do not have a frame rate limiter or a VSync. Oh, it's either VSync on or off. You can't do half VSync, like 60 frames per second. Because on this TV, if it goes down to 60, it really looks bad. It has very bad inverse ghosting. But actually it's pretty good with 75. But could this graphics card do high settings, 4K, 60 FPS? I would say yes. 4K native, 60 FPS. Because we're maintaining above 71 doing all this, so it'd be a smooth 60. But if you like the high refresh rate gaming, you really like that, let's do this finally. So I'm going to put FSR3 on, frame generation on, and put it back to 75%, the way I believe developers intended to be played. And let's see what we got. See, now we're down to 70% utilization. 80, 82. Yeah, so you get a perfect 120. And this does feel smooth. Feels just like Avatar. It feels perfect. I wonder if I can run our way. Run up here and leave. I like the music, it's so relaxing. So there we are. We have 80%. You could play the whole entire game 120 FPS with frame gen on, 75% upscale, FSR3. That's doable. I'm just hoping they get rid of some of the shimmerings. But that might be a Starfield thing. It doesn't really happen in Avatar. So, if we're at 80%, what happens if we do ultra settings? With frame generation on, FSR3, and we have 75% basically ultra quality rendering. Let's see what we got. Well, 85, 88. Yeah, this is doable. I think you can run ultra settings, FSR3, ultra quality at 75%. Most of the game. It is smooth, it feels good. But see, like right here, right there, I see a whole bunch of shimmering along those lines. I like this laser gun. But right here, this line, it's real shimmering, really bad right there. Especially when I rotate a little bit like that. That bothers me. These artifacts. Now if I decrease the sharpness, I wonder if that would help. I'd rather be blurry than sharp and shimmery. Let me turn sharpening all the way down. No change. Maybe even worse. I don't know. Oh boy. But see, I got a lot of headroom. Oh, there we hit 92%. So we still have 8% headroom in action. So here, I'm gonna play. Here we go, FSR3, 75%, ultra quality, frame generation on, 7900 XTX.
Barrett?
Man!
Been a long time.
Yes, it has. That mine on Bendy, right?
Kazal, Hellhound, like this place. Rare mineral contract. Your tastes are a bit more sophisticated now, huh?
So, you found something?
Right here. The new girl found it.
That right. And everything went cool? Just like grabbing those minerals on Bendy?
Kazal, and no, Barrett, not cool. She passed out after the extraction. Woke up saying all kinds of nonsense.
Is that right? Went on a trip, huh? That fun, huh? Not the most gentle push into the great mysteries of space, but hey, been there.
Look, just hand over the credits, and I'll be happy to never see this thing, or you, ever again.
That's why I like you, Lynn. All business.
Barrett, the scanners on the frontier are reporting a ship coming in hot from orbit.
I really thought I lost them.
Barrett?
I don't know if they really updated since I haven't played for quite a few months, because I've been waiting on this, just like I'm waiting on Cyberpunk for FSR3 on that to do the new Liberty campaign. Or I only did a few missions on it. I highly recommend Phantom Liberty. Really fun first missions. But I haven't played for a while. And it sounds like the sound is better. And I will say this right now, this is really smooth. This is perfect. This is just like Avatar. It is perfect. It is smooth. It is fluid. I literally can see around all the objects. I have motion blur turned on. Let's see what it's like with it turned off. I'm gonna put this up to 80. I like even numbers. So instead of 75, we're gonna put it up to 80. Let's see what we get. But yeah, we're at 90% usage. That's where you want it to be, 90% or less. And then in the heavy zones, it can use up to 10% more in order to keep your frames stable.
Of course Barrett was being followed. Every time.
Now that was some fine work under pressure. You dug up the artifact, right? That means you saw it. The visions? You're coming with me to Constellation. You're part of this now. Marvelous.
Oh no, Barrett. No. You think you're just going to take off after the mess you caused?
All right. I guess I did just put you all on the Crimson Fleet hit list. How about I stay and I send your Dusty here in my place? I know, but she's not some miner anymore, Lynn. Soon as she touched that rock, something changed. Don't tell me you can't feel it.
Fine. It's a deal. Get out of here, Dusty. You're on to bigger things. Just go. Before I say something I regret.
Well, now that that's settled. Bosco, get her to the lodge. No deviations unless absolutely necessary, okay?
I don't understand the hate of
Indigo.
people on this game.
Again. Very well.
Oh, and hey, take this. You'll find it very useful out there. And it even tells...
Baby carrots are really good for you and taste great. With ranch dressing or coleslaw dressing, great.
Hey, look at that. The watch fits you perfectly. Now, questions?
I will say that watch in the trailer looked so good with the textures. I'm like, I gotta buy this game. So I bought the $100 version. Oh man. And now it's on sale for what? 40, 50, 60? So, yeah. Try not to buy single player games unless you absolutely have to have it. Unless they're on sale. Saves so much money. Hundreds and hundreds of dollars. But see, I changed that to 80%. And now we're at 115.
And Bosco, don't... let her break my ship. We're still in one piece. Oh God, I'm gonna throw up.
Yep, might have to play the game with 75% upscaling if you want 120 FPS with FrameJet to keep everything smooth, consistent.
Just up the ramp, Captain. I'll be in the external
Just the
robotics
graphics alone is enough to get this game a pass. I think that's how the developers felt too. Yeah, there's loading screens and this and that.
Captain, I assume you know how to fly a Class
Big deal,
A
this is
starship.
awesome.
As Barrett likes to say, it's as easy as learning to ride a bike.
And there you go.
To boost the shields, just in case there are any difficulties.
At first, it does seem like it might stutter as it loads a little bit. But just the graphics and textures. Oh my word, you can sit in the toilet. Yeah, this is pretty cool. How do I... Okay, you can do that. Yeah, I think they improved sounds or something. Trying to remember how to holster. Gotta push and hold reload. The thing that made me buy the $100 early access was them walking through here, and you could see like the fog underneath the light here and stuff like that. I was like, wow. I like that you can eat food. Before I played, you know, you couldn't even consume things and stuff. This is cool. And the textures, I just can't get over them. If you're struggling with a lot of just feeling really upset and frustrated, I highly recommend Seeking Health Multivitamin 1 Methyl Free. Multivitamin 1 by Seeking Health. Such a good multivitamin. That and some micronutrients, benfotiamine, vitamin B1, fat soluble. Man, I'm just happy. I'm thankful. A lot of people are vitamin and mineral deficient. If you have trouble remembering things, then you need Nordic Naturals Ultimate Omega Fish Oil. Oh, they gave a locker here? But yeah, if you need to calm down your brain, multivitamin B1, Natural Calm Magnesium, Nordic Naturals Ultimate Omega Fish Oil. Lots of rest, recover, feel great, and then do some probiotics. You'll feel right as rain.
The rest is up to you.
Well, here we go. The first FSR3 I've ever had in space. Frame gen is an incredible technology. This is incredible. It's just so good to play 4K at 120.
Now that we are in orbit, it might be wise to test all controls and systems to ensure they are not on the verge of catastrophic failure. I can step you through the entire process, or if you're already an experienced pilot, just power up all the systems, and we'll be on our way. Each system on a ship requires power. Allocating power is under your direct control. Let's go over the engines. Engines control our maximum speed. Try increasing and decreasing our relative velocity. A ship's engine has a sweet spot for better handling during turns. Draw your attention to the HUD. You'll notice a speed indicator in the lower left with a gauge that goes up and down as you adjust the throttle. Try to center the gauge so that it lines up with the center of the vertical bars to its right. Boosts can be engaged for temporary bursts of speed. Let's turn our attention to the shields. Try adjusting power to the shields. Notice more power increases their strength. Shields protect the ship from hull damage. Without a hull, they'll be vaporized. Shield health is displayed in the lower right. Hull damage is below it. You've proven an adequate pilot. Are you familiar with ship combat tactics? Because that's a Crimson Fleet ship bringing its weapons.
Crap, I just shut all my rockets.
We will need to disable their shields. Laser-based weaponry is particularly effective. If you can keep the enemy ship centered on the HUD, we can lock in to fire a homing missile. The enemy shields are down, Captain. Ballistic weaponry excels at damaging the hull once shields are offline.
Tango down! Ramp down! Do or die!
Congratulations on surviving your first Starship assault, Captain. We should search the wreckage for spare parts and other salvage. You will need to fly close to it before we can access the remains. Crimson Fleet ships are jumping into our location, Captain.
Trying to figure out how to shoot a missile. Oh, you gotta press G. Well, we're in space now. This is pretty cool. Alright. I noticed a little ghosting with the UI there. It's having issues with the Crete. It's a little bit stuttery there. I don't mind though. If I can play the whole game except for a little bit of elements like that at 120 FPS, I'm happy.
We have arrived in orbit. The abandoned facility with our Crimson Fleet captain is on the... I'll follow you from here on out, Captain.
Real quick, I want to test native 4K. See what we get.
Captain, Protocol Indigo dictates that I am to return to the Lodge with no deviations. We are here to stop the Crimson Fleet from pursuit. Nothing more. I have often asked Barrett that same question at various times, and about various individuals that wanted to cause us harm. The most likely answer is that Barrett personally insulted him, typically by continuing to live, usually after escaping from certain death, and often with an object multiple people wanted. According to the scanners, the abandoned research facility is in this direction.
Do I think this is playable at 4K native resolution at 112? Yes, I do. So I guess it really depends. When you're at this high level, you know, would you rather play 100 to 120, you know, give or take?
Alien creatures are often unpredictable.
You could play 100 to 120 range of FPS, native 4K, like we are right now. Or you can play 120 and turn on upscaling. I guess it's personal preference. If you want sharp 4K, if you're one of the people, you have a 4K monitor, you want to play in 4K. You don't like upscaling. FSR3 frame generation is perfect for you because you can leave upscaling off, turn frame generation on, and have fun. But if you want someone who is so smooth, you don't care about the upscaling as much, you just want smooth, silky, buttery smooth, then you want to turn on the upscaling to 75% or whatever and really get that full 120 FPS throughout the entire game. See, Avatar could not do this. Avatar is even more intense, where with upscaling off, frame generation on, high or ultra settings, you know, you only get 88 FPS on high. And most people can live with that. I can't. Plus, this TV does not like 70 to 90 FPS. Very bad inverse ghosting. You can turn off variable refresh rate, but yeah. The only other thing that's sad to me is that top of the building is aliasing really bad. So I'm hoping AMD really gets to the bottom of this. Can kind of blur it out instead of it alias. But if we turn it off, no upscaling, regular native 4K, we're at 77 FPS. And it does feel like 77 though. That's the thing. That's why I like the higher refresh rate. It feels good, it feels better than 60, but it feels a little sluggish, a little slow. Oh, what's that? Die, rock. I changed all the settings in here. I'm gonna change them back. Okay, never mind, I didn't. I have the crosshairs turned off though. Very distracting. Breaks immersion. Yeah, we're on Ultra too, I forgot. So with upscaling off, I'm looking at right here, along this edge of the roof. It looks great. Like I only see a little tiny bit of shimmering. But as soon as I enable FSR3, let me try CAS. I want to see what it looks like. Yeah, I can notice a little bit of shimmering, tiny bit. Let me do... I'm getting tired. It's about bedtime soon. Still fighting off a cold and chest stuff. Ugh. Here's FSR3. Yeah, FSR3 needs improvement on the upscaling. Excuse me, I got a cough. They need to increase, because I could see shimmering all over this fence, all over there, all along this direction. I'm seeing the shimmering. Just walking like that, that bothers me. So I was excited to be able to do, you know, FSR3 native with frame generation, but it's not looking like it's there yet. I'm hoping that it will be though. But I see shimmering all over this stuff. So my question is, if I turn this down to 67%, which would be quality frame FSR, or 66. That actually improves it. So I don't see the fences or these windows bad. So I wonder if it's just that single percentage. If I go to 100, I walk a little bit. Yeah, I can see tons of aliasing. So what happens if I put it down by 1 point? Just one single point. Whoops. Put it to 99. I want to see if that kicks on the FSR. No. Still looks pretty aliased. I want to try Intel XES. Ultra quality. See how that looks. See, the fences look good, and the windows look good, and the very top of the house looks better. So yeah, AMD needs to get their FSR improved. They really do. But let's do FSR now and put it to ultra quality, which would be 75. What was this setting? Contrast. Okay, that's all good. Yeah, I can definitely tell. Okay, so it actually looks better with more FSR than less. So if I put it to 100%, 75% looks better. It looks less aliased. So let me try. Yeah, because running it at 100 does not look good. There's issues. I don't know why, but the whole fence is aliased there. All of the windows are. All this stuff is just aliased and doesn't look good. I can tell it's shimmering and but what if I do 95%? No, it's still pretty rough. Let's go to 90. I don't know what to say, everyone. Go to 80. I mean, I think that's better. But you gotta learn to live with it. But see, I try to do the settings so that I won't need to live with it. But I'll tell you what, 80 definitely 100% for sure looks better than 100. I don't know why, but 100, it's not applying aliasing on certain things. Like all this stuff here and up there, when I move forward I can see all these aliased objects. But the way developers intended it to be used, I guess, was 75, and that's where they optimized it for. And to be honest, that looks a lot better than 100%. So, you know, if you think you're going to run native 100% and it'll look better than 75 and be sharper, less aliasing, and you think it's going to be perfect, and you'll just turn on FSR3, I wouldn't recommend it. Yeah, 75's doing pretty good. Better than 100. But now I know. Now I'll play the rest of the game, and if there's aliasing, oh well, that's just the way it is. And we are on Ultra, I believe. Motion blur's off. And turn on frame generation. We were at 90 FPS because FSR is on. Yeah, we're at 80% usage. So that's my recommendations. If you want to know what settings to use, I mean FSR needs improved. especially on the shimmering in Cyberpunk in this game. Ubisoft Avatar's Frontiers of Pandora is doing pretty good though. It doesn't have near this amount, not even close. It has 10% or less than this stuff. So I don't know if it's a game engine thing or if it's poor implementation. But there's got to be a way to make it a little better. You know, better than the rest. But it only gets worse. Now I don't know what to think, because that does look better than 75 right now, once I'm closer. I don't know. Yeah. Especially the fence right there. That's aliasing and shimmering a little bit. So let me put it back up to 100. It's not near as bad. And now let me try 90. I just want to see. I don't know. By default, it's just not doing it the best. If you hate artifacts, it's recommended just to turn off upscaling completely. But see, even there with it off, I see shimmering. So I think it is a game engine thing. There's some shimmering there on the fence. So if the actual game is shimmering, then FSR3 won't help it. So it might not be the problem with FSR3, it might be the game engine implementation of how it renders fences. Because that's shimmering and upscaling is off. But you learn to ignore it, you know? Look at the ground and the green and red and stuff instead of the fences and stuff. But here we are, 70 FPS, 100% GPU utilization. We're at 100% upscaling. Upscaling is off. Let's turn that on. Let's turn this to 75. I can't get it. There we go. No. There we go. Everything's ultra except for motion blur's off. Frame gen on. Actually, I'll leave it off. So we were at what, 70 some FPS? Now we're up to 87. So that improves it. So this is the final. I'm just going to play it like this. 75%. All ultra settings. Actually. Now look what they do. There's 75% for ultra. You put on high, it goes down to 62. Medium, it's at 50. Low, it's at 50%. So these are performance mode, balanced mode, I would say. And then ultra performance, 75%. Ultra quality, I mean. I am really tired. I'm gonna stop talking. I want to try playing at 100%. High settings, motion blur off. High settings, motion blur off with 100%. Native 4K, the best as it can. Frame gen on. I'm gonna come in here and clear this building, or most of it, then I'm gonna call it for tonight. But there you have it, 100% GPU utilization, so we are using the max it can, but we're in that sweet spot of 120. It looks good. But I mean, you don't really, if you're on high settings and your GPU is only using 60 to 70%, feel free to kick one or two on until you get up to about 80. Likewise, you know, if you're at 115 right now, I could go through each individual setting and see if I could free up a little bit. But we're already on high. Ambient occlusion normally takes a lot. So does volumetric lighting. Let's try those two on medium, see what happens. I think that might have gave us a little bit. 120 and 93% usage. Books and staplers. It's funny that you can pick up everything. I don't like picking up everything. It's overwhelming. Unless I take magnesium multivitamin and benfotiamine B1. Huh? Relax. How do I drop it? But yeah, this is pretty cool. But see, here and here, we're only at 76% usage.
These are United Colonies markings, but we are in Freestar Collective space. It then stands to reason that this was once a secret UC facility.
Ow. I don't like using the controller in this game. I don't know, the controls are weird. Cyberpunk is great. All my other games is great. I'm about to modify the controller. But for smooth pans, it's a lot better. Ooh, empty chunks packaging. Always what I wanted. Let's blow through this quick. I want to have to go. If I want to miss anything, that's the only bad thing. I forget how to do all this stuff. Q. Oh, F. And press and hold. Oh, crap.
In the immediate vicinity.
Let's get some action. I want to try out these frame generation at high speed. I'm so used to pressing tab. I like to play one game at a time because all the controls are different in each. Well, I guess we'll have